So I did ayahuasca in Peru. Let's talk about it. I have my cacao here from Peru to help bring me back to the scene, bring me back in that moment. Let me start off by saying that Grandmother Ayahuasca called me. This was not something that I was looking for. This was not even something that I had really researched before going. But I'm so glad that I listened and that I honored the call. And also now, in hindsight, wish that I had a little bit more guidance on what to do when getting back. So first, let's talk about the retreat itself, the way it was set up, the way that everything happened, and then we'll get into my actual experience on ayahuasca. So we first started with doing Kambo, and Kambo is a poison from a frog that you put on your skin. Most of the time you'll see people get it on their arm, and they'll have 3 marks on their arm. I have it on my foot, so I'll show you my foot. On my leg, I'll show you my leg. There was one person who had a really good experience on the Kambo. I didn't feel anything but pain. I felt the heat rise. I felt something up here in my ears. I felt like tension. I felt it rise up, but I didn't purge or anything. Kambo is a cleanser. So a lot of people use Kambo before doing these type of retreats in order to purge things out. My body is clean. I live a clean, non-processed life. So I didn't have a need to do it, but I didn't really know. I was just going with an open mind, and I did a lot of things that I was just like, hey, look, I'm here, let's try it. It's a part of the retreat. So we did Kambo, we did Sananga, we did Hapé or Rapé, and ayahuasca, of course. And then after every ayahuasca ceremony, we did cacao. So we had 3 ayahuasca ceremonies: a day on the ceremony, a day off, a day on, a day off, a day on. And I'm really grateful for this space in between, especially because that first night I felt like I was on for another 24 hours after the ceremony was closed. Okay. Crazy. So yes, and then so after we did the ceremonies, the next day we did a share and we had cacao. So the cacao is helping me come back to the share so that I can share with you what happened. So I really didn't have a need to do the Kambo, but I didn't know what I was doing, so I just went ahead and did it, and all I felt was pain. I didn't purge or anything. So don't recommend Kambo. I mean, I don't recommend doing any of these things unless they call to you. Sananga. Let's talk about what Sananga is. Sananga is eye drops. They come from Brazil, and they are to help decalcify your pineal gland and open the 3rd eye. So when you do the Sananga, it burns your eyes, but it can also improve your eyesight. This is an ancient medicine, and we know ancient medicines, you deal with the pain so that you can have the reward of actually healing instead of just treating the symptoms like the United States of America does, and a lot of other places who have adopted those systems of the West. So I thought the Sananga was really cool because it made me see the world in different textures, which I thought was really cool. The other thing that we did was Hapé or Rapé. Hapé is a tobacco, and they mash it up really fine, and then they shoot it up your nose. It's supposed to be a gentle shoot up your nose, not forceful. And it gives you like a light sensation. There's a lot of different ones for a lot of different reasons. This again is another Brazilian tradition. I didn't know that I was going to Peru to get Brazilian traditions. I would have went to Brazil. I thought I was going to Peru for Peruvian traditions. But this is why you should always do your own research. So right before doing the ayahuasca ceremonies was when we enjoyed or endured the Sananga and the Hapé. And it basically is just to help you get in the mood to receive. So let's get into the actual ayahuasca experiences. So like I said, I had 3 nights. The first night, it was like she wanted to be gentle with me, to not scare me. And I say she because with ayahuasca, it's very apparent that this is a spirit that you are joining with and experiencing. It's not like shrooms, where shrooms you are just connecting to the earth and everything around you. I felt an actual presence with ayahuasca. I felt like I was being guided and led with Grandmother Ayahuasca. And so when I say she, I'm talking about that spirit. So my first night, she was being really gentle with me. She like showed me, basically telling me that like this, I am of the earth. This is where I come from. So you're going to see some furry things. You're going to see some creepy crawly things. You're going to see wings. You're going to see trees and vines. Like basically just she was taking me through, like kind of showing me who she is and what she is of, and in a gentle way. And so when you go into ayahuasca, you always go in with an intention. So you always take the cup, bring it to your heart, and you set your intention, and then cow step back, and you take all of what the shaman gives you. And so that first night, my intention was to know myself more deeply. My intention through the whole weekend really was to know myself more deeply, to be in tune, to be in alignment and attuned to my divine love, my divine partnership, the man that I would birth children with and love, and to activate my voice, to know myself more deeply, to be able to express more freely. And she showed me that and much more than I had asked for. So that first night, she showed me a divine partner. I'm not sure if he's a twin flame or soulmate or what. Some things are still very unclear because it takes time. And we'll circle back to this, but it's important to know that you should take your time with what she shows you. You can't just expect other people to just hop on the train of what you were shown. You were shown it for a reason. And so it's important to take that time to really sit with what you were shown. And there's so many different ways that everything can go. So it's important to sit with it so that you can be more clear on how to communicate. And that's why it's taking me a little bit longer to do this video, because I had to really sit and think about how to communicate this with you. And so yes, during that first ceremony, she showed me who she was. She showed me a divine partner of mine. She showed us in many lifetimes. She showed me some of what he's going through right now. And yes. And so there's a point in the ceremony where you can get a second cup, and it's like he opens the window for you to get a second cup. And right before the window was open for me to get a second cup on that first ceremony, she was like, come on, come a little closer, I want to show you something. And then that's when he was like, the window is open. And I was like, oh snap, I guess that's my cue. I guess I need to go get me a second cup. So I was like, let me get myself together, use the bathroom first and all of that, and then go get the second cup. I was still very conscious during the whole thing. And it was interesting that first night I felt like a baby, because she really took me into a cocoon while she was showing me who she is and showing me my divine partner. And so trying to get up and walk, I was like stepping so weird and funny. Like I didn't recognize my body. I didn't know how to really even move in my body. And it was just hilarious to me, because I'm trying to walk and I feel like a baby. I feel brand new. And so I go to the bathroom, and it's like she's just thanking me for sharing my body with her, thanking me for coming and, you know, being a part of this, and for listening and trusting her. And so I just felt good. I started feeling really giddy. And then I went up and I felt like a child, which to her, I am a baby. This is thousands and thousands of years of wisdom that I opened my body to be receptive to. And she was just so grateful that I answered the call. And so I get up there, I get the second cup. I'm just so excited, so happy. And then when I get back to my spot, I just start dancing. And you have to dance in your spot so that you're not distracting anybody else. So like I'm just dancing and like being free within my arms and my hands and my legs. And it was just great. And then she was like, all right, time to lay back. Time to get back into it. And so, so that second portion of the first night, we started to tap into a little bit of our shared pain. So me dealing with sexual assault, military sexual assault, and her dealing with assault as well, with people mistreating her body, with people taking her medicine with no regard for who she is, people setting her on fire with no regard for all of what she brings and all of what she holds. And it was like we just cried so deeply. We just sobbed about the pain, about the disrespect, about how people just take and with no regard. And it was just powerful to really see how much that pain is connected. The violation that people have had towards Mother Earth, towards Pachamama, and how that is reflected in how they treat women. And it was just deep. I think that's all I want to share about the first night. We're going to rewind a little bit. So I wanted to go, I had set the parameter that I would only do ayahuasca where it is from, with the people it is from, and you know, like that's how I am with medicine in general. I didn't realize, no shame to anybody, like please just listen to what I'm saying, because it all was for a reason in the end. I didn't know that I was going to Peru to be served by an Italian man. And I see now why it was necessary for this whole dynamic to have been the way it was. But I really want to experience it of the people. And what I'm finding is a lot of what people do now and how people practice now is completely different from how it was originally intended. And I really want to make sure that I'm honoring the people who are of the culture. I like to spend my money with the people, with the indigenous people, whenever I go anywhere. Even when I'm in the US of A, I'm not supporting no large corporation of these immigrants who came over and took over. So, yes. We're going to get into why that was important in a second. Second night. Second day on ayahuasca. Second ceremony. She takes me to my childhood. Not just my childhood. She takes me to my conception. And shows me everything that my family was going through at that time. Shows me why my mother felt the way that she felt about being pregnant with me. Showed me why my siblings treated me the way that they treated me growing up. And showed me who my dad is. And I knew that my father was not necessarily a good man. But I didn't, being the baby, I didn't really know and see and understand why everything was the way that it was. But I see now why we were so divinely orchestrated to have had that experience together. All of what I really have remembered was being alone most of my childhood, was having to figure out how to entertain myself because my siblings didn't want anything to do with me. And now I see why. It had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with what was going on before I came. And then also my change, the way that I changed the dynamic being born. How tired, how sick and tired my mother was. And also how that led to my sister taking on more responsibility than she wanted to, or should have had to. And also that my brother was being bullied and picked on by my father. And so he just found somebody else to be able to take that frustration out on. And that just happened to be me. And I was an easy target for him. And also that was a part of the devil that was in my father trickling down to my brother. And I told my brother, like, I really associated it with like the nine-tailed fox with Naruto. There's a demon inside. That's our father. And so we're gonna have a little bit of that within us. But it is our job to learn to control those emotions and learn to step into our own power, our true, genuine power, without needing assistance from a demon, from the devil. So, yes, I really enjoyed seeing how much my mother enjoyed me being a rebel. I came out and I ain't taking no shit from nobody. I did not care. I did what I wanted to do. I made my dad wipe my booty. I made him serve me. And my mom loved watching me run over him. And my dad loved me, you know, the best that he knew how. My dad loved me. He wanted a baby girl so bad. And he still does. I'm still his favorite. And yeah, I just think it's beautiful. Somebody got to get these reparations right. I think it's hilarious. But also, I'm the baby. So my experience was completely different. You know, I've forgiven my brother for how he abused me growing up. And, you know, he is a much better man today. He's learned how to control his emotions. My father is trying. we don't really need to get all the way into my family life and family dynamic, but yes. So second night was pretty intense. Brought a lot of tears, a lot of clarity, and also a lot of love and gratitude to my sister, my mother, and also understanding for me and my brother's relationship. That third night, I didn't even really think I needed another one. But I was like, I'm going to still do it. You know, I was called to do this retreat for a reason. So that third night, she was basically, I think the main thing was that she activated a part of my voice that I didn't access before. We were called to do a song, and it was just so, so beautiful. And that was one of the things that I asked for. And like now I've been like freestyling. I've been like, you know, speaking more freely, more up, and also with a lot more understanding. Like I feel so much more connected to myself and my voice. And that was a main goal for me, knowing that ayahuasca is really activated through music, through sound, is one of the things that called me to it, that made me accept the call to go. And I really feel so much more connected to my voice. I got a whole album I need to lay down, okay? So I'm just really grateful. And she also showed me like how my brother having a new baby was really a blessing for me, because it also allowed me to build my relationship with my brother's first son, who I never really built that much of a relationship with. I mostly built a relationship with my sister's son. And so now with this new baby and me watching the baby, and of course whenever the older son isn't in school, I would watch both of them. So it gave me more of an opportunity to spend more time with him, which I really appreciated. And some of that kind of came up that third night too. But the first night was the only night that I took a second cup. The other nights, she didn't tell me that I needed to take a second cup of ayahuasca, and I listened, and each time she was like, thank you for trusting me, and she took me in deeper. I also didn't purge. I know this is what everybody want to know. Did you purge? I didn't purge. And I got my Chiron is in Virgo, so I am very clean, and I don't play about a lot of stuff. And yeah, so I asked for a new bucket and everything. I'm like, other people been purging in this bucket? That's nasty. So they gave me a new bucket. And yeah, I only like spit from the Hapé, which makes sense because you can't swallow the Hapé, so you have to spit or you could get sick. It's a little cat in my yard, and she's so cute. She just be hopping around and trying to catch stuff. But yeah, so I didn't even purge. That first night, I slept in the temple by myself. Everybody else went back to their room, and I'm like, I don't even know how y'all can walk. I couldn't see. I couldn't walk. I was just trying to get used to my body again. And so I slept in the temple that night. And it wasn't until everybody left that my body, I felt like a drop in my stomach. And I went to go use the bathroom, number 2, and what I thought, but for real, it came out my mouth. And it was so much. I was like, damn, did I eat this much? And then, then the reverse end came after that. But like my body wouldn't let me purge in that bucket. And that was really the only time that I threw up. I only threw up that first night. And that first night was the only night that I did 2 cups. So everybody's experience is different. Like I said, my body's clean. I stopped eating processed foods a while ago. I don't really do detoxes like that. Sometimes I do when I feel called to do them, but I live a very clean life. I don't use cans. I'm using dry foods. I cook with a slow process. Like, I even started making my own coconut milk out of coconut shavings. Like, when I say I don't do processed, I mean I don't do processed. I'm doing things from scratch. And so I don't have that many toxins like a lot of other people. So my experience is going to be different. I don't need the same things that a lot of other people need. I'm actually very clear and clairvoyant because of how clean my body is. So yes, Do I recommend ayahuasca to other people? Yes and no. I don't think it's for everybody. Just like all the stuff that I did, I don't think all of that was necessary. I feel like I benefited from it. I learned a lot and I was just open to the experience, and I think that was also a lesson within itself, was me learning how to just be open to what spirit is leading me to. Now I'm able to connect with people on a whole nother level, especially as a practitioner. If somebody asks me questions, I have more answers for them. And it activated part of my voice that I've been wanting to activate. I felt such a blockage in my throat and in my communication, and now I feel so much more clear. I feel so much more aware of myself and my place in this world, in this community, my beginning, and where I'm going. And I'm just so grateful too for everybody that was on the retreat with me, because we all were practitioners for each other throughout the entire retreat, and it was truly, truly beautiful to witness. I mentioned earlier, like, that I didn't know that I was going to get served by an Italian man. And I say that because the woman who invited me is a black woman, and then the shaman was Italian, and then the other guy who was assisting, he was from Belgium. And oh my God, the guy that was assistant from Belgium, such a good heart. Love him so much. He also cooked for us most of the days, and his food is amazing. Um, but it was one day where we were sharing where the shaman had disrespected the woman who invited all of us there. And it was such a trigger for me, but it was good for me to be able to just identify that trigger and also know how to handle it. I feel so much more in tune with, or just at ease and at peace with, my triggers and traumas. Just the other day, somebody was mentioning their faith in Christianity, and it didn't trigger me. And I was like, wow, I've grown. I've grown so much. Like, it didn't trigger me. I didn't roll my eyes. I didn't be like, ugh, another Christian. Like, I didn't have none of that. Like, it was just like, I was able to just receive it, because it's important, especially as a practitioner of yoga and sound healing, for me to be able to respect everyone's faith and everyone's religion, no matter what the history is and was. And now I'm able to do that. I've healed my relationship with white people. I know that discernment is still very much needed. But I straight got white people that I love now. Never have I ever had that. Like, it's beautiful just being able to connect with people from all over who have so many different backgrounds, and realizing the beauty of people, and also what's not so beautiful, and also realizing how everything does flow together and comes together. Oh my God, I just feel so good and okay. And like, I could just take people for who they are. There's no judgment. You just are who you are. And I love that for you. I love for you to be who you are. It's beautiful. It's truly beautiful. Even when people are nasty, you could just be nasty somewhere else. But you had the freedom to do that, And I had the freedom to accept what I want to accept in my life, and not accept what I don't want to accept in my life. Like, oh my God, I have so much love for people, so much love for life. And I was already on this journey, being here in Costa Rica. And, I just think the ayahuasca was like the icing on the cake. I needed to, especially I got a lot of stuff going on back in St. Louis right now with my family. So I needed to see that, and I needed to understand. And now with my siblings, I could just love them and be here for them. And regardless of what anybody thinks about me or has to say about me, I know my intentions. I know what I had to get past because of how I felt growing up. And now I also see why there was that disconnect, why there was that, you know, interaction, those types of interactions, and the resentment that's still there. It still does make me sad. And I cry. Oh my God, I cry so deeply now. And it's so beautiful to feel. It's so beautiful to feel. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for everybody that was there. Grateful for my girl Taylor, her man Ezekiel. Um, I'm so grateful to have met everybody. My new friend Aram and Gretchen and Harriet. Like everybody. Meg, Mira, like it was beautiful. It was truly beautiful. Some hiccups, as to be expected with humans. But I'm grateful. And it also showed me a lot about what I want to do differently in my retreats, and has me excited about hosting my first retreat. I know I'm being called to do so. I'm grateful that I was able to teach yoga on my first retreat here, because I taught yoga at the ayahuasca retreat, and it just really set me up on a really great path for the beginning of this calendar year. And yeah, I'm grateful. If you have any questions about ayahuasca or my experience, drop them in the comments below. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready. I've got just like another week in Costa Rica before I have to go back to the States for a little bit to close out everything. I'm really going back to sell all of my stuff, and I'm really excited for this journey. Right now I'm saying that I'm moving to Costa Rica, but I'm also practicing being open to what Spirit has for me. I'm ready for my divine partner. I'm ready to be in love. I'm ready to birth children. And I'm ready for this next phase of my life. And yes, definitely want my husband and to spend time with my husband before I birth children. Let me be clear. But I'm just grateful, and I just see this divine path being laid for me, and I'm just here for the blessings, and I'm listening. So I'll be in Houston for a little bit teaching yoga. Then I'll be in St. Louis for 3 months teaching yoga. So just stay tuned. Follow me at Flowing with Fluid on all platforms, and you'll stay up to date. Comment below. Subscribe, please, because I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs, y'all. I'm like this close. So, yes, help your girl out. I love y'all. Thank you so much for watching and listening to me. I hope that this was insightful and enjoyable for you to watch and enjoy. Until next time, peace.